Hey everybody, big guy here, Straw Hat Pecan. Welcome to our first OP12 locals. We got Kuzan today, one of the decks I was very excited about. It's very fun, just a lot of consistency. But before we get into it, if you like the playmat I'm using in the video and you want to support me in this channel, make sure to leave a like and subscribe first of all. But also you can check out Ned Garden and use my code Straw Hat Pecan for 5% off on top of any other sales they're running. I was very grateful when I saw I was sent out this playmat, the King of Hearts. Very cool, Rosanante Law, you know. Very, very nice in person for sure. And also I've got a TCG player affiliate link down in the description as well. If you want to purchase any cards off TCG player, just helps support me if you go through the link. But let's get into this. I'll have the deck list at the end. A shout out to our first round against BY Nami. We are going second, starting off with Tashigi Search. See in our hand, you know, we got some decent pieces. We'll pick up a 2K counter. Yeah. Second search, same as the first. Picking up Garp, I believe. Yep, getting that Garp. Really like Kuzan. I keep saying it. It's not like the best deck, but it is just so consistent and it's so fun for that reason. You just like survive until you can play out Garp into something else twice and just keep pressure with AK swings. You get a little bit of control with that 6-drop Kuzan, some red rock and stuff like that. We actually hit him with the pudding because, you know, Nami drew so many cards, right? He was at 8. Debated, I think playing out, he just swings another big like 10k at life, right? So that is what it is. Go to 6. Another really I want to play out, like, because obviously the Kuzan, nothing. I could just play out the Kuzan, have an AK swing, right? But we play out the blocker. Borsalino going over the effect. I actually like it. The Borso, I have it as a 2 of in the deck. It just seems pretty alright as like a backup 4-drop if we don't have Cavendish. He plays out the 7 Mom and we trash the life. It's our 1-cost event. And then he goes 5 at us and we block out 6. But with him down to 2 life, you know, we go 5. And we go Garp. Trashing... I think 1 Kuzan, yep, to play out another Kuzan. So we activate the first draw from trashing with the Garp effect and then perform the Kuzan effect to make it so Big Mom can attack, right? So board looking pretty good, I'll say. And, you know, we're just doing Kuzan things of kind of cycling out our hand and stuff until we just get as much counter as we need. And then he goes 6 of life after trashing 1 life with the 8-cost Kid. And we go 2K because I don't really have any 1Ks that I want to give up. Really, I can use the Tashigi in future turns, so I didn't want to really give it up. Probably should have like blocked 6, given 1, but I wanted to search with it in the next turn, so we just play over that. And we see, I think we're gonna pick up the Garp here just to, you know, fully establish our board. But I'm thinking, is that too greedy? Do we have time to play out another Garp? I think so. Right, we do have blocker. We do have a lot of counter. So we go 8 for Garp, trashing a Borsalino, trashing over the pudding, and we actually playing out the Sakazuki, so we draw 3, right? It's pretty nice. We Sakazuki's effect to trash that Sakazuki to attach a Dun, go a little bit higher, and draw into a Sengoku, 1K. So then he gives us a couple of 2Ks after trashing for Nami's ability to go up to 7K. So board's looking pretty good, and we have enough counter to defend this turn. He goes another 8-drop Kid to trash our last life. So sad, so sad. Just a lot of trashing life here, unfortunately. But we have as wide of a board as we could get, right? He goes, I think 7. So we block 6, go 2. And then we use Pheasant and then go 2-2-1. To get out of an 8, and then the 2-2-1 to get out of a 9. And then he cycles with the kids, and then we just have to go for game. I don't think he has a crazy big hand right now. We go 9 at life. He takes, and it's a Beji. RIP. So now we're instantly down to 4 swings. Shouldn't be that bad because, you know, I think he has like 5 in hand or so. We go 7. He pitches 2-1. We go 9. I think he has like 3 at this point. So just looking to get all of his counter out of his hand, then just go 2 last 9k swings. I think he has, so he has 1 card. So when I go 9, I know this is going to go through. And literally all we had to do is have nothing shenanigans happen, and he hits the 0 cost. So that's just how it goes sometimes, you know? We had perfect math at the end, I think. Because he has 1 card, 7, like if he had 2 2s, I think at the end, if we go like 10 with the Garp, you know, that would have been rough. However, that's just really unlucky. Yeah, you know, it's just real unlucky. The Beji into a 0 cost is last life, you know, so that is, yeah, we lost. Sometimes that's just how it goes, you know. We could have maybe pressured a little bit more. I could have, instead of playing out the Borsalino blocker did get us a lot of good value throughout the game. The only thing I could have done is played out a Kuzan on curve just to have an 8k swing a turn earlier to apply more pressure throughout, right? That would be the only other thing I could have done. And also maybe saving some like a red rock for removal. I figured that like we have perfect like board state. He's down to 2 life. We probably got enough swings to go through, but he just had enough counter to get out of some swings. He had the Beji in the 0 cost, so just very unlucky, right? Because now he's going to heal, so then we only have 1 swing left. So yeah, GG to round 1. Like I said, Kuzan is like a pretty fun deck, and it's just like play Garp into something else and just swing 8Ks. Right? And you get a little bit of control, some bouncing. We didn't really use the Jozu because obviously I don't even think we drew into it, but also he didn't have any 6k or 6 costs or lowers that I wanted to bounce anyway, you know? So, you know, I'll be honest, it's a very unlucky first round, but it is still fun to play new deck, right? He didn't end up, I think the Nami list runs the Kuma now, like with every yellow deck, so didn't even end up using that. Just a lot of trashing our life. I could have been a little bit safer, I guess, and like healed him with the 7 mom, but I was pretty confident that like we could survive. Basically, what happened, right? Survive until this turn where we have a full board of like 8k swings and go for a game, and just had very nice triggers, right? That's how it goes sometimes. But shout out to round 2 with the Kuzan mirror match against one of my good buddies. It is really funny. We're having a really good time in this matchup. Overall, I'm having a really great time in OP11. Even though I got some yellow shenanigans round 1, I still shout out to my opponent. Love the guy, right? But, you know, is what it is. And we're having some fun here. You'll see, it's funny because we took second. His deck is blinged out. Man, just came back to the game. It's got really nice Kuzan deck because it was, honestly, I don't think Kuzan was like that crazy to bling out before Sakazuki got unbanned. After Saka got unbanned, all of these blue Navy cards spiked up. So shout out to him for picking them up before they went crazy. Also, we gentlemen's agreement to not putting each other. So that's why you'll see either we counter out or like pitch pudding for effects because we just, you know, gentleman's handshake, right? But my deck is absolutely minimum rarity. I don't even have a sleeve on my leader, just the common one. And this man's over here with blinged out, you know. I as you can see from my Yamato list, I have, you know, my decks that I like to alter out and like the ones I've been playing for a while, but I don't know, with set 12, I like so many leaders. I don't even know if I would have had one that I wanted to focus on, like getting all tarts out for, right? But he's going 5 at us, and there's too many cards in my hand because we're playing Kuzan. Yeah, you can also tell that we had a very slow start for both of us because no 4 costs on curve for either of us. And my 6 cost is Jozu, but like I don't have anything that I need to tempo him. I obviously can just bounce back my Tashigi and do nothing else, right? I don't have to bounce back one of his cards. So just playing out that Jozu, you know. Pretty slow start for both of us, but yeah, I feel like Kuzan mirror matches are going to be a little bit grindy, especially with how much you draw, right? It's going to be just like, I feel like it's like whoever takes second probably has a good advantage because you just get to garp into something else first, right? And playing on curve is just really strong. So we go 5 of life. He Josu'd my Josu back because he knows that once I'm at 8 Don, I'm not going to play out Josu to Josu him, right? Because I want to garp into something else. So we pitch the pudding because gentleman's agreement to Kuzan ability. We draw off the garp thing, then we pitch for the Kuzan thing. I believe you can choose to do it in that order, right? I don't think you have to pitch both garp and Kuzan's effect. It lets you do that on the sim, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked up the official rulings, but it makes sense, right? From the perspective of the leader ability. I don't know, but nice alt art garp over on my opponent's side and the Kuzan against my bare bones board. Flipping it over to indicate, yeah, he froze the Kuzan, and then he just passes back to me. So we attend on. I think we're just going to garp into Kuzan again. I think I might do a search here. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with Kuzan, just drawing so many cards, getting out the big bodies. It's a fun deck. It's a fun deck. It's nothing crazy because again, you don't have any insane plays, right? Your biggest thing is garp into something else, and then like some removal afterwards. But like overall, everything's just like, yeah, you have a big hand, and that's about it. And you need the big hand to survive until you just have big board, right? So we just go 7 and then 8 at life. He uses the pheasant thing, you know. Pitches, I think, Grav Blade for it, which, yeah. Like, I like the removal aspect, like Red Rock and Grab Blade, but like, I find myself so many matchups not even using it. I guess it's for the matchups particularly that we saw, didn't really need it. We keep in the pheasant because we need it for some counter, right? Possibly for next turn, right? So here he's going his garp into Kuzan. Beautiful cards, by the way. I gotta say, like, the blue alt arts for this set, absolutely amazing, right? Kuzan always gets some really nice stuff. And here we are. I think we're just gonna go 7. Yep, for Sakazuki, draw 2. His effect, pitching, I believe a garp. Yep, to draw, cycle out, get a Don attached on my leader. So he has 4 in hand. We're gonna go 7 at Josu, I believe. Just trying to clear his board, right? Just like a little, like I said, a little bit of a grind matchup. You don't want to commit to trying to, you know, end game too quickly, and just give your opponent a huge hand. All right, we're just trying to keep board, right? But Grab Blade definitely has room in the meta for sure, especially if you're going against like a lot of Rayleigh. I think that could be really, really good. Especially if you're going first, right? Grab Blade on curve to like remove some of their board, and then later on just play out some big bodies and get back some hand size, you know. Seems pretty good. And also out of life, it's always nice to just bottom deck a 5 cost. So here he is, he's pushing for a game because, you know, we just have too big of a board. Because again, I think just getting to go second again in the mirror match is so good, right? Because even if your opponent's swinging at your board, right, you have a big hand size because you're Kuzan. You're able to cycle out to find all your 2Ks you need to because you're Kuzan. And just getting to play out 2 8 costs or 2 like 8 and 7 costs, I should say, like, is very strong. Especially when like the removal for in Kuzan is either remove 2 6 costs or lowers with Grab Blade or just 1 body at a time. So, you know, the most you're doing is just freezing something. So I think he has like 4 in hand. So we have 5 swings. We're just gonna go for game, right? A couple 9K swings, and then GG. End up winning the. I really think that it's just like going second really helped us there. But overall, just a fun time. You know, very fun rounds 1 and 2 so far. You know, I will say I think overall I didn't see any Rayleigh, which I was sad about. I think Rayleigh's a really fun deck. I saw a few Zoro. Obviously, the Kuzan's here. There was a few new decks, but like it was week 1, so I don't think everyone had all of their cards. Kuzan was the only deck that I actually did have built myself, right? I didn't even have all the SRs for Rayleigh at the point of this locals. I just got really lucky with my boxes and my pre-releases that I had all of my GARP SRs, and then the Kuzan Sakazuki were rares that I ended up getting enough of. Yeah, this was the only deck that I was able to. And also, yeah, we didn't see any of our Cavendish so far, which is kind of sad. I'm only running 3 Cavendish, I will say, in this list. It's really good. It's a really good card, but I don't know. I think I was messing around with my ratios too much. I don't know. I getting sidetracked. We'll go over the list at the end. But shout out to round 2. Very fun so far. But shout out to our round 3 against Sakazuki. I don't remember what day the bans come out, but like our locals, like, yeah, we're just enforcing it. Because honestly, I don't think anyone's playing blue purple anyway, right? Or Nami. But my buddy here wanted to play Sokka, right? So I'd been saying that I didn't think Sokka would be crazy, but you know, for the people that want to play Sokka, you know, good on you. Play the deck you want to play. I was hoping that if we just go GARP into something else enough times, like that's our whole win condition anyway, right? That he can't remove it that much, because I don't think Sokka lists are running like 10 cost Kuzan. Obviously, they don't have Ice Age, Great Eruption, stuff like that. So removing 2 pretty big bodies a turn could be pretty rough for them. So yeah, just definitely looking for that GARP, which we find. And Sengoku lets us find 2 cards, and we draw another. That Sengoku Searcher is just so good. It is cracked. I would say the only argument for going first is that. But I think for the most part, yeah, going second on Kuzan just feels really great. Here, I think we lost dice roll, actually. That is why we are going first. So he goes 5, then he minuses the Sengoku. And we take big hand size for the win. But we got some removal for ourself, you know. We're done, so I think he can definitely hit us with some removal. But honestly, like the Sengoku it's very expensive to swing with, right? The 3K body, it don't feel great. Here he's pitching for leader ability. And just plays out Kuzan, draw a card. So we keep our board, but like, it's just, if Sengoku was like 4K power, then like you can combo with the 7 cost Sakazuki to get a 5K swing out of it. That'd be like kind of all right, but like, I don't know. You can't ask for everything in a card. That Sengoku Searcher is still just so cracked. It is, get 3 cards by pitching 1, right? It's insane. And you get like the cycle out of it too, because you're pitching, right? Like it's crazy. Getting 2 cards, and then you draw another. It's insane. So if he was able to swing with just 1 Don 2, that'd be too much, I think. Too much. But we play out the Suru on 5 to bounce back that Kuzan, and he ends up pitching it for leader ability, right? Man, I just imagine there's a lot of people who probably never got to play against Sokka or with Sokka back in his prime. Man, it's at 5 and 6. So he goes Hina and just bottom decks out with the Helmblaze. Goes 8 at life, minusing the Sengoku. And we take, because honestly, our hand is not that great in terms of counter. Especially after using the Suru. But we're just stacking our hand for the Garps and hoping that all the cards we draw from that in the cycle is what we need for counter, right? Right now we don't have a lot of counter. He picks up a Helmblaze from the Tashigi Searcher. So here we're at 7 Don. I think we're just probably gonna go. No, actually, I think we're gonna play out I think we were gonna play out a 7 cost. I was thinking about maybe the Kuzan's good because it's +1 cost, but I'm like, no, if I play out a 7 cost, it's the same. They're both 7 costs anyway, right? And I don't know. I'm assuming that just whatever this first 7 cost is that I play out, the 6 cost is going to get deleted anyway. So that's why I played out the Jozu, because now I get to search again, right? So getting the added value of the search, knowing that like this Jozu is going to get removed anyway, felt better than just playing out a Kuzan to cycle 1 when I can pick out of top 5 instead, right? So, I know bouncing back to Hina, right? You can just play it out again or cycle it. But, you know, just getting rid of a swing right now because I don't think he's playing pudding in his deck. So we just have big hand, right? Just to keep us alive as we go for the double Garp turns, which is our win condition. Yeah, Jozu coming back to bounce my Jozu. This man's diabolical. He asked me to borrow Jozu, and then he hits me with my own Jozu. That's my Jozu that I lent him across the board from me, hitting my Jozu. Crazy. He picks up a Tashigi off of the brand new search. Loses the 8-cost Luffy into the trash, which does suck because I don't think there's no way you can get that back with like the Rebecca or anything, because that only gets 3 to 7 cost and only black type characters. We go Garp into Kuzan. I know I did incorrect order of like, I think I drew or before playing out the Kuzan off of a Garp in the second round, but again, we were just having fun, you know. Everything ended up in the way it was supposed to end up anyways. It was just a locals, you know. But I know the order of what I did was wrong in the second match for something. I think I played out Garp and drew off of the trash first before playing out the second character, right? Which I played out something I already had in my hand anyway, so nothing changed game state wise, although I know you're supposed to play out the card anyway first, even if you're going to draw off the Garp before doing the secondary character effect, right? So he's hitting me with that Rebecca Hina play, the famous fabled Rebecca Hina Lucci or sword event, you never know, or whatever he's doing, right? That again, if you don't know Sokka, he's going 8 at us, and then he's going to Hound Blaze, right? So we take. So then he goes Hound Blaze, bottom decks our Kuzan, and goes 6 at us. So we just go 2k, get out of that. So thankfully, it wasn't Lucci, which would have been another 6k swing for his board. So a little bit safer for us. Picks up, I think, a brand new off that Tashigi search, right? And I don't think he used lead ability yet, so I think he pitches something to draw, right? Pitches the brand new to pick something else up. But here we're just going Garp into something else, you know? Just doing Garp things, pitching a Sakazuki. Right, yeah, and then I'm thinking, play out the Sakazuki because I want cards in my hand because at this point I realized that, yeah, I'm kind of low on counter, so, and I don't think he's got pudding in his list, so we attach one to leader, and we draw one off of that, so not a lot of counter still because we're picking up a lot of bricks, but with that, the pheasant event, we're still at 2 life, we're doing pretty good. We go 3 into brand new. Yeah, the pheasant event is really, really good. We're going 7. And I go 8 of life. And then pass. So now he's down to 2 life, 1 blocker. Looking for Grav Blade too, I think, here. Because I know he's going to play out a lot of blockers. So if I can like Grav Blade, then go for game, it could help us, you know. That 7 Don could always be used to like math them out too, because we have a decent board, right? We lost 1 character, we still have 3 8k swings. So if we lose another, we still have another Garp to go into something else, right? The board isn't crazy scary. He laboons the Sakazuki, and then he's going 5 at us, or no, it goes 5 at the Sengoku, minusing. So the Sakazuki on the right is now a 2 cost. So boom, the Hound Blaze is definitely going to hit. So he Hound Blazes to buff the Hina, and then bottom decks is Sakazuki. We go 2-1 to get out of that 7k swing. He goes 8 at us. I think we're going to use the pheasant. Yeah. So we're pitching, I think, yep. Because again, Red Rock, very expensive. Plays out another Rebecca, but we're still at 2 life. pretty decent hand still. We draw into a 2K. He's got like 5 in hand or something around that. Not a crazy big hand. Sakazuki also just uses a ton of resources to remove right now, especially without things like Great Eruption and Ice Age again, or Gecko Moria really, that recurs value, right? He's going to be using a lot of his hand to remove, right? So, and especially being only a 4-life leader, yeah, I don't think he's crazy. We're just going a bunch of 8s at life, get rid of the blockers, 2 life, a bunch in hand. So trying to set up for game the following turn, getting rid of some of those Rebekahs. Yeah, but like if he could just like Gecko and like remove one of my big bodies and like keep bringing that Rebekah, obviously that'd be a little crazy. I'm wondering if it was like a debate. Like I wonder if at Bandai it was a debate, like do they unban Sokka and give people back Gecko, or like one or the other, right? Because I don't think they're gonna give us, but obviously they didn't give us both back. But I wonder if that was the debate. Like, do they put back Sokka? Or do they give back Gecko? I wonder if they tested Sokka and Gecko coming back. I think they probably tested Red Purple Law coming back, and that was decided against most likely. Oh, so yeah, he I think he messed up the play off of Rebekah, but we fixed the game state because Rebekah can't play like or take back or play out the blue characters, only black characters. He's used to playing Lucci, so mono black. So it's been a while since we've had the blue black Sakazuki, right? So yeah, totally fine. Again, it's just locals, it's alright. Here's gonna have a crazy hand. So I'm thinking, I don't know, like the 3 Dawn attached somewhere else probably just maths out better anyway, but we play out Hina, pitching one of our bricks, pick up a brick anyway, so if we have to defend, you know, we kind of dead. But yeah, without the 7 cost Sakazuki, that play becomes a little bit more inefficient. If we had 7 costs on the board, then Hina's essentially a 2 cost because we can attach a Restodon to swing in, so that would be a much better effect. But yeah, our last life was the one of Grav Blade, so that was, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know, Sakazuki doesn't seem like crazy. I think when more people test out more lists and it becomes maybe a little bit more well-rounded, more tested, maybe it's still decent, but I don't think it's like crazy anymore, and obviously that's why it got unbanned. But yeah, Kuzan seems fun. Again, the whole playstyle just feels like revolved around finding Garp into something else and finding all of your little tech pieces. You know, I did use some of our you know, the Suru came up in that one, the 2K, right? That kind of tempo removal, right? But GG, shout out to our round 3, really fun. Seeing Sakazuki come back into play against that was pretty fun. All right, shout out to our last round against Blue Purple Sanji. This was a long matchup and a grind because both of our decks just do so much card draw. It's insane. Going through the entire deck, like I think by the end of it, both of us were like almost decked out. It's crazy. But yeah, there's just a ton of searching that deck does, a lot of card draw with Sanji, right? And a lot of crazy stuff. So we pass back. And with how many of the purple event that just like looks at top 3 and adds to a hand, it's just like the turn becomes the Sanji player just like searching through his deck. You don't even get some of the hand info, right? And just, you know, they just cycle through like 3-4 events a turn by the end of the game, and they're just like, yeah, my Sanji's a 10k swing now. It's a little bit crazy. And then it's like none of the removal actually works, so I'm glad that we got the 6-drop Kuzan, right? Because obviously the Reiju is a 9 cost, and then the Sanji can always just Don -1, and it's not really it's not a big deal unless you somehow make them do it twice to protect the 3-cost Sanji. Then it's like, eh. However, I think for Sanji list, they are running the pudding. So I was a little bit worried about that this game. I was a little bit worried about it. So I wasn't going to just blindly take a big hand size. Honestly, I think we should be less worried about it in the beginning of the game, because we can always build the hand size back up very quickly. And if it hits us late game when we're like trying to defend, it could be a lot worse, right? But here we're just, you know, fleshing out the hand. It is kind of crazy right now. Getting our Garp into something else combos, right? I will say Sanji is a pretty, even though it doesn't run a lot of character cards, so a lot of like outright counter, it is pretty defensive because, as you can see, picking up Gum Gum Giant, the Colvier event, I believe that's the name of it, has like 1 Don for +4. He's got the Reiju, so that's a 7k power blocker that can't really get rid of, right? But I could have had a Red Rock, which honestly wouldn't be crazy, but then again, I don't know. He searches so much. And also, you never know, really, with how many ratios decks are running. I've seen lists not even run the Reiju SR. I've seen them run it at 2. I've seen them run it at 4, right? So I don't really want to waste a full turn for a 6 Don just to bottom deck 1 blocker. We go 5 of life. He's going to block out with that 7k blocker, which it's really unfortunate because... So we go Kuzan, pitching Sengoku. A little greedy there, to be honest. A little greedy there. Probably should have pitched the Aramaki. But honestly, Aramaki wouldn't be that bad to play out on 8 because of that 7k power. I don't think he's going to attach anything to Reiju. And he doesn't have a Sanji out either right now. So everything the Aramaki would be able to block out right now. And he does have a couple of 1 costs that I could bottom deck for the Aramaki effect to buff it up to 11k, which is really nice to swing with. 11k into a Gum Gum Giant deck is still a 2-1 situation after Gum Gum Giant, which is pretty expensive because the 2 cards they drew into with Gum Gum Giant. He Red Rocks our Kuzan. So rude. So rude. Even though I didn't Red Rock his Reiju, because I didn't have it. I probably would have Red Rocked it, if I'm being honest, if I had it. But yeah, I think here the following turn we're gonna obviously Garp into something else, which sucks because now we don't get to swing essentially. And I think I really should Aramaki, but I don't think I do. Because we go Garp, pitch the Cavendish because it's a little late to play it. And I think I play out Kuzan or Sakazuki. Yeah, Sakazuki, so draw 3. Not crazy. I think because I don't have a lot of great counter, but then why am I pitching Sengoku? So that's something I should probably be taking more time to think about, right? Just to draw, we're doing the attached Don pitch thingy. But yeah, I don't know. If Kuzan got like a card that was like a little bit better removal, right? Like the new 2K, and then like Suru, it's like not great. And then we end up running Jozu. Like if we had like a version of Jozu that was Navy, it'd be kind of crazy. I mean, Kuzan, the 6 cost is really good. Here he is playing out his first 3 cost Sanji. So he's a 6k power right now. So that's what, like 9 events in the trash. It's a little crazy to keep track of, which is what I was thinking of when I was playing and thinking about Sanji. He goes 7 in life. So yeah, that's why I kind of wish I played out the Aramaki, right? I don't know. Those puddings can become swings. We go 2 and 1. So if I had the Aramaki out, turn early, we would have got out of that. I mean, we drew into the more cards anyway. So I don't know. I think I really should have Aramaki'd, because then if he's gonna swing with the Reiju, that's a free block. It can buff itself up pretty high to swing 11. I don't know. I've been like hit or miss with the Aramaki. Oftentimes I don't play it out too much, but against aggro decks and like these mid-range to low-range decks, I think it's actually pretty decent because it's that 8k power blocker, which is nice. And does have a once per turn cycle built in, right? If your opponent has one of those like 2 cost or lower that it can actually bottom deck, which is pretty nice. Just more cycle. Because if I'm not going to benefit from that Sakazuki, and I get Red Rock, but I can't do nothing with that because everything's a 9 or cost or crazy. I could have made him Don minus, but I'd rather have that card in hand because I can always cycle it out to draw more, right? So we go Garp, pitch the Red Rock we just got, trash over the Toshigi, play out the Kuzan, draw off of Garp first, pitch the Garp for the Kuzan to do the Sanji and draw into a nice 2K. And then I think we Sakazuki effect to pitch Garp. Attach a Don there. He's got 1 Don open, it looks like. We go 7 at life, I believe. And it looks like he takes 8 at life. He blocks 7 and goes 2 with Kaya, and we go 9 at life. Trying to set up for game the following turn. We're still pretty healthy, decent hand, a lot of 2Ks, right? But with a couple of blockers, which he does have, it is a little bit right? He gums here. Yep. And gives us 1K. Or actually, we gave us a 2K, I think, with the Kamazo, right? I really like that 2K in the deck. It felt really good, especially against some like aggro decks, right? Be able to pop something every turn. You Don minus prevent feels pretty good, right? So plays out the Rosinante, trashes an event to draw 2, and now he'll be able to restand 2 Don at the end of his turn. Really good for this deck, obviously, turning on quite a few events, right? But still, he's got 2 Reiju, bunch in hand. So even at 2 life, I'm a little bit worried for going for game, to be honest, but I don't know. Because I know the deck doesn't run a ton of counters, so I probably could math out at this point. But he is playing another blocker, so little chump blocker. So now 3 blockers, 3 Don open at this point. Draws 2 off of the event. And yeah, now 3 blockers up is kind of crazy. Draws another by doing the event. The Colvier, I think that's it. So it goes 7 in life. I probably yeah, take his. Okay, he goes 7 again. Go 2-1. It goes another 7. So now I'm like, oh, he kind of confident that he's going to live with that blocker, and then the 2 Don he'll have open. I do have pudding in hand, so I probably should. I don't know. We have a decent amount of options right here, so we'll see what we top deck into, right? Because pudding is technically a 3 Don investment to get rid of his hand. I really should pudding here. I've got a few options. I'm thinking maybe. No, Aramaki too slow right now, will not survive. I'm like, okay, I can Aramaki get a blocker out, get rid of his blocker. I can swing his board maybe a bit. Thinking about Garping. Well, not Garping. I don't have any Garps. But thinking about Aramaki, not doing that. I think putting and going for game is the option. Honestly, 2 life, 1 blocker. He has like 8 in hand. So, dude, this is like, I don't know why I don't pudding. It's a 3 Don investment. I play out Kuzan to freeze his Sanji. And then I'm thinking, okay, Kuzan's a 5 Don investment. We get a useless card, I think, Grav Plate. So we go, I think we're going 7. Yeah, definitely not the right play there. But yeah. We could have also played out the Hina to prevent a block, right? We can always play out Hina to prevent the Reiju from blocking because it's an original cost of 4 less. It prevents from blocking. So that is a really good card to have out in this matchup, I think. We go 8 at... I think we're going swinging at the Reiju blocker. So yeah, this is just a whole mismanagement. You know, definitely messing up here. It's all right. I rather... My first time playing against Sanji in person, you know, I was a little bit worried about the 2 Don open and the blocker, so I'm not thinking about the math. Right. I don't know. I should have counted out the 2Ks, which he did counter out with a few of them. We go 8 at Reiju, and I think he lets it go. And then we just go 8 at life, because either way, if he goes Reiju, he blocks out or counters. We go 8 at life, he blocks out. We search with Tashigi, and here I pick up the pheasant. I could have just picked up a 2K and probably been all right, but because I pick up the pheasant, it sets us up to be pudding, because he knows we have really great counter event. But I'm like, this is my only way I live here. I do live here if he doesn't hit us with pudding, right? But I really think that if I puddinged him, I would have won on that turn, truthfully, depending on what he draws into. If he draws into like brick events, which is very likely, I would have to have like looked through the trash to look at counter events too, right? Because his deck is almost out at this point, right? He has 3 swings. We have 1 life, 6 in hand, 1 Don open. He knows the pheasant, right? But he hits us with pudding. Here I am thinking, oh, dude, my deck is so light, it don't matter. Like, I'll draw into some counter. The pudding really destroys us. And I think if I puddinged him thinking back with hindsight, I think we would have got. But look at that. That is not great. That is not great. 2 bricks, not what we want to see, right? If those 2 bricks were 2Ks, which at this point definitely could have been with, I think, how much we're left in our deck. Or we had 3 pheasants, and I think like the next card on the deck is pheasant. So if we drew back into the pheasant, we would have been all right, right? Is what it is, right? Things to think back on and to sequence better. He goes 7 at life, and he's got 4 Don left and a 7K and a 6K. So if I counter out of this, I'm dead anyway, unless the top deck is pheasant, and what we top deck into with the draw from pheasant is a 2K, right? That would save us. He goes 8. And then, yeah, GG. Yeah, shout out to all my opponents. Definitely fun time. First week of locals, 2-2 with Kuzan. Definitely some mistakes to learn from. Playing against some of the new decks, some unfortunate stuff is what it is. But let's get into the deck list and talk about some, I guess, of the choices. Like, there is some variation in Kuzan, right? Some lists running some other cards, right? All right, so here's the list. Pretty sure I remembered all the ratios. Key pieces, just running 2 Jozu, 2 of the Borso, 3 Cavendish. Because honestly, I couldn't find a 4th one, I think. I was looking for it. But honestly, yeah, it's a really strong card. Probably played a 4. But I was trying out some different ratios, and like I said, couldn't find a 4th one. I know I got it somewhere, but it's been mixed in through so many different blue decks, and I need to find it. Just 1 Graph Blade, 2 Red Rock. It's like, I don't know. I think probably put in more Jozu is what I want to try. Like, I like the blocker. It put in some work in some matches, but I don't know. I think another option for 6 Don is just like too strong to pass up. 4 Don, I think I think maybe we cut out the Borso if we do, and then put in like 4th and then 3rd Jozu. Like 4th Cav, 3 Jozu. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I don't know. For the most part, it's like, even at a 2-of, you can find stuff with just how much you draw. Like drawing an extra 1 to 2 cards per turn. Unless you just happen to bottom deck everything with like a searcher, right? But if you don't, then the odds just increase for you to draw into the pieces, right? Especially if you play like 1 Sakazuki and just go up like 2 cards, 3 cards in 1 turn. It's crazy. I do like Aramaki. I think, yeah, there were places I could have played it. It would have been better too. I do actually like the Borso against Sanji. I like the idea of that. I didn't find it for that matchup, which was unfortunate. because he can't just use one of the 3 cost events to bottom or bounce it, where he can do that for Cavendish, right? But that's like the only matchup that I think is pertinent. I don't know. There are some removal decks still that you would want to keep some body on board for, right? But I don't know. I don't mind the ratios here. I don't think I'm going to spend like a ton of time grinding like Kuzan. It's a really fun deck, but there's so many things I want to play and only so many locals. So I've got a lot of decks lined up that I want to play. Rayleigh Koala, Zoro, you know, some older decks, Robin, right? So definitely a lot I want to check out in set 12. Let me know how your locals are going, if you've been to any so far for set 12. What leader are you looking forward to playing? Let me know down in the comments. And always be nice to my opponents, right? They're doing me a favor by allowing me to record these games for our entertainment and, you know, review purposes, I guess, you know. I do always find a few mistakes here and there that I make and try to do better on them the next time, right? Reviewing your games is always a great way to get better. But yeah, either way, pretty fun first week of OP12 locals in the books. Not the greatest, right? Made some mistakes. 2-2 is still pretty fun though. Yeah, leave a like, subscribe. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.